The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
Eric's Family Barbecue has arrived and is simply the best barbecue in Arizona. Come satisfy your taste buds with meats that are smoked over mesquite wood and sides that are made with fresh ingredients and tons of love. They have the best, juiciest brisket, pulled pork, rib sausage, turkey, or everyone's favorite, the Pitmaster sampler that includes all the meat and 4 sides, mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, corn or beans, yum. And for dessert, try some creamy banana pudding, amazing. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip, you won't be sorry. Dine in or take it to go. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more info.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
You've been deceived by an agent of Satan himself. He's evil.
Sitting right here. Come on.
No, he's not evil. He's just a bit rude.
Off we go. It's Tuesday morning. Also in the Olympics last night, I don't know if you guys saw, I was up late for no reason, but watching the speed canoeing. Have you seen that thing? See who won?
The two dudes?
Yeah, two dudes are just massive. And then the women are also two dudes. They're giants. The strength in that. I mean, talk about conditioning.
So I thought that one sprint with the two dudes was like 500 meters.
No, it's forever.
like 4 times long.
It's like miles.
And they going the whole time.
And they're just cranking the whole way. Did you see who won that?
Great J strokes.
The
Cuba.
Germans, right?
No, the Germans were
Cubans.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Cuba won, and I'm like, give them 2 weeks. They'll be in Florida. They're not going to be Cuban much longer with a row like
Imagine
that.
them on the ocean.
Are you kidding me? They've been training for this their whole lives.
Cars, tubes,
That
whatever.
That
if it floats, we can paddle.
Damn Coast Guard keeps turning them around, but these guys got Olympic gold for it. Next thing you know, they're going to be in Miami before you know it. They were flying. That was kind of a neat event. There's some cool stuff that I've been watching, like that. The rowing thing was unreal. And you talk about wanting to get in shape and stuff. Holy crap! I think rowing's the way.
And then following it, where you see the nose is kind of inching ahead if it's a tight race.
Well, I didn't see the full race. I just watched the ending.
Did you watch the kayaking sprints as well?
I think that was the girls, just individual,
the double
right?
paddle.
Yeah, they're just on their own.
They're screaming though.
They're flying. It's pretty neat.
Oh, and the one girl boat tipped over.
Yeah,
that's the first time I've ever seen that.
She just rolled over. I'm like, you got to be better than that at the Olympics.
Far from the end.
By the end of the Olympics, you got to be better than the rollies. Well, she got the twisties. She got a case of them boat twisties. I got the twisties. There's no fighting this. It's schizophrenia on the water.
Restless leg kicked in.
Oh, that was it. She's got a mental and physical disorder.
They were like in 3rd or 4th, though, and from the end, they tipped over.
The other day, I made a mistake at the house and knocked a cup off of the counter. And Megan was kind of mad. I'm like, whoa. I have the twisties.
Back off.
She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was a mental disorder. I'm like, yes. I can't clean this either because of the twisties. I'm going to go sit down and do nothing. She's like, I understand. It's a mental disorder, your twisties. I'm like, there's no getting around it. There's nothing I can do at this point other than just sit somewhere else.
How many notes are going into school?
Brady, I got pulled over.
Can't come in.
I got the twisties. I got pulled over by a cop. I was going 104 miles an hour on the 51. Switching lanes, going nuts. Cop pulled me over and goes, what the hell do you think? I'm like, oh, hey. First off, attitude.
Too strong.
Cop, and then I took a knee. And I said, I have the twisties. And he said, oh, my God, it's a mental health issue. I'm like, yes. I don't know what's going on in that car. What I need you to do is drive me places. I got a case of the twisties. You can't tell me this is something you can get past, these twisties. I love it. I want people that get the twisties concept. I'm going to go to the urgent
I'm uncomfortable with this, John.
You got the twisties from my twisties?
Yes.
Oh, man. I've given him a mental... It's contagious. Hilarious. I got to say a quick thank you. And not a quick thank you. This is going to be a thank you, to the Arizona drinking team. Yesterday, we went down to the Phoenix Rescue Mission drop-off, right?
Right.
For what was supposed to be a good-sized donation from the Arizona drinking team. We were joking around about something.
I'm a member of them.
Now you're a member, and they've got a website, 11,000 strong, and they heard us talking, and you said something about the guys from the Arizona drinking team. Like, there's an Arizona drinking team. Next thing you know, we get in contact. They set up a water collection thing. And they were going to have a drop-off yesterday. And one of the guys is a Hensley guy, works for the beer distribution in town. They pulled a full semi
Shut up. I thought Randall was exaggerating.
I did
So
too.
a trailer pulls in.
40-foot trailer pulls in full of water.
Wow.
I think we're done.
It's over.
I think we're. It was packed, and the people there were so cool and so nice, and they were fun. And there's a guy named Scotty Karate that was there. That's I know, and he got out
I'll show you.
He's nuts.
His posts.
He's
Yeah,
bananas.
he's a lunatic.
He's a lot.
Cool guy, but he's a
nice,
lunatic.
but he's a lot. He's a lot of people in one person. He's a lot. He gives you. You know what he'll do? He'll give you them twisties. If you're not careful, you hang around him, you get a case of them twisties. So he was dressed as a mermaid, and he came out of this big bucket of water they had, and they had some beers, and they were just
Quite the presentation.
They did, but then the semi rolls up. Now, the best part about the semi rolling up was our own Mark Randall. Because, well, first off, we're at the Phoenix Rescue Mission waiting for the guys from the Hensley and the drinking team to pop by and dump this water off for a donation, which was unreal. And another truck with a donation. And we're there. And Randall, who doesn't work there, he works for us. And he's known for this. This was a great moment. We're all kind of standing there minding our own business, waiting for our group to get there. And Randall, hey, guys, we got somebody trying to drop something off right here. Why don't we get up and get on that? He tells the employees and the volunteers at the center, let's get on the ball here. You got time to lean, you got time to clean kind of thing. And I'm like, Randall, you don't work here. Knock it off. Oh, just letting them know. I'm like, they know. They were coming. They know.
It's
They
like the
do this
Progressive
every
commercial.
day.
We need that teacher over there.
He is the guy from
Hey,
the...
you don't work here.
He's the guy
helping.
Yep, it's
parking.
yes,
that
and
the
he
guy
started to do that too.
Yeah.
So somebody's backing up. Mark gets behind the car. Let's go. And I'm like, Mark, they don't need your help backing up. So then the semi pulls up. Now this guy has managed to work this semi all the way across town. He drives it for a living. Pulls into the parking lot. Mark's like, why don't you put that right over here? And the guy's pulling it in. He goes, all right, good, stop. And the guy just rolling forward like, no. And they're like, all right, we got that. And he walks away like he's just shouting noises at people that don't work for him.
Sounds like U-Fest.
I was dying. Like he was directing traffic. No one was listening to him, which was the better part. But he's just shouting out orders to people that don't work for him. Like, who the hell is that guy?
That is something to see from a distance when it looks like he's in charge.
Yeah.
Not one person is listening.
Well, the best part about it was nobody working for him listened. Like we don't work for him, but we're like, all right, Mark, I'll get that. Like as he starts getting bossy. And he's got this big, long Gandalf beard. And then one of the guys gets out and he's like, oh, when did you just stand over? And the guy goes, what do you got? The beard. What is he going for? Are you going to be a wizard? Like immediately, and Mark's like, yeah, I'm going. He's like, yeah, I could grow a wizard beard like that. And the guy just walks past him like, I'm not listening to you. I don't know who you are. You could be some lunatic in a parking lot directing traffic. Do I call the police?
Where's your manifest?
So anyway, the Arizona drinking team dumped off a 40-footer.
That's huge.
40-footer. And I mean, when that gate opened, I expected half full. No, sir. Front to back, all the way. We had, what were they, 25 pallets of water.
Holy crap.
I think the whole drive is over. I don't know that there's
Is this
any
a
more.
record?
This is.
Oh, by far.
They even said it to me. They said
Swift Trucking came in with a bunch of pallets one year.
Swift crushed it. We've had some huge
Yeah.
donations, nothing like this. And they even said, this can't be your biggest one. And I'm like, oh, it is. A full semi-truck of bottled water. So to those people who, are looked down upon by many as just a bunch of drunken slobs, what an awesome group activity they did. And Hensley got in.
Pulling that
helping them
together,
out.
drinking and filling water
I mean,
bottles.
they could not have been more awesome. And again, Phoenix Rescue Mission deals with a lot of people who have had recovery issues and things like that. Half those guys from the drinking team probably going to need Phoenix Rescue Mission pretty soon, someday. They're going to need to recover. But in the meantime, just a group of well-meaning, kind-hearted people goofing around, having a good time, and making a massive donation that I honestly think made. So we're done. I think we can just walk away from it and say, guys.
Here's a picture they posted
Nothing we
yesterday
could-
of the donation.
I went down there just to see because they're like, this is look at that. Look at that.
Cool truck.
That is a massive amount. And
I mean, look at it stacked up next to that pickup truck.
it's as high as the pickups.
Yeah.
And there's 25 of those pallets. That's what's outside. I saw them moving stuff inside. So that's bled all the way out, and they got to move that in. I mean, they need a lot of water. I think they got it.
That's awesome.
And everything else from this point on is gravy.
Thank you, Scotty Karate.
Scotty Karate and the gang at the drinking team.
Yeah, here's Scotty Karate Toledo.
Scotty
just 'cause
Karate.
You're wondering.
No.
He wears a thong and he puts people off with it, and it's a full upper body tattoo. And I don't know if there's cussing and
I
stuff
don't know.
in this. I don't even want to risk it. But Scotty Karate likes to.
Has he met Dickie Mids?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's Mid-Oz guy.
Well, he knows. They all know him.
They're peas and pods,
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh, yeah. And I hope Midon does that outfit.
God, we can hope.
Good Lord. The rolls would just eat up every ounce of the fabric. Middo eats a lot, and so does his stomach.
Man.
He eats shirts and eats pants. It's crazy. But, yeah, so I couldn't be we love working with and the better part is dealing with these nutbags coming out there saying, yeah, we drink for fun. We're a drinking team. And there's charities who get bothered by that. And we've dealt with it before. There's charities like, and I swear I've been on the phone with one of them that said, well, tell you what then. You don't like what our listeners are like, but you're willing to take, why don't you pack up everything they just gave you? We'll come pick it up and we'll give it to somebody that doesn't have some bougie, judgmental way about who's dropping off what. You start judging the drop-offs, all of a sudden you're running some sort of class warfare donation thing. And the bigger problem with most charities, as I get older and start to realize the ones I deal with are the ones I've kind of gotten to know. And like I love the Humane Society, Something Fierce. Those guys are awesome. Lost Our Home Pet Rescue couldn't be better. All the ones we kind of deal with are great. But a lot of the charities are just kind of bored, wealthy housewives who want pats on the back and pictures in Biltmore magazine saying that they're, helping the poor people in the community. But they really don't want to hobnob with the regular folk.
There's a good, nice little former black tie ball tied to it.
Oh, they love that.
Some of the best volunteers
They love
out there.
spending money on events
Yeah.
and getting their name out and
and just throw cash at it.
Yeah, I mean, Marianne put this whole thing together, and it is just flat out amazing, and she's done so much for the community. Well, what she's done is rent a room at the Monte Lucia and invite all her rich friends by to donate a ton of money, and then they write a check, and they never actually see the groundwork being done by guys like this. And then if they did, they'd call and complain going, I'm not so sure I like who was here today. And doing that, then we don't want to deal with you.
Over the years, like you said, I think all the stuff that we've helped out through the year have been amazing places.
Not all
For
of them.
me, the biggest disappointment was it didn't have anything to do with the Desperate Housewives being involved and the rich. It was when we heard it one year as it wasn't quite over yet, but the statement we really expected more.
Yeah.
We're disappointed at the what you
year,
donated.
yeah.
Like, it's a free donation.
And that year,
It doesn't.
we had a second semi-truck pull up to drop
With
stuff
turkeys.
off.
With turkeys that year, right?
I don't remember that. No.
think they
Oh,
brought
no.
up the frozen
We
turkeys.
had
This is a
somebody get
different
mad
one.
at us for dropping off turkeys to a food drive they didn't want.
Yeah.
How do you get? It's a food drive, isn't
Well,
it?
again,
Isn't
that was
During the holidays, yeah.
that was a bougie housewife
Man.
that got mad at that.
Christ.
She was like,
Someone
well,
else is doing turkeys.
right, it's not ours. And I'm like, well, then give it to their charity. Well, that's not helping us. And I'm like, well, we're helping the community. I thought we were helping everybody.
Yeah.
Man.
So you'll run into that. But I just wanted to say that we're dealing with some real good people who are like, hey, drop stuff off. I don't care who or what you are. They're boots on the ground type charities that we like. And like I talked to
Ground roots.
Brett and Nelson and the gang up there at Humane Society. They're going to hang out and drink with us tomorrow for the Ching Chavez thing. And the Four Peaks guys are involved. And it's just these quality ones. There's so many out there that have turned into, well, I don't want it to compete with it. You shouldn't be competing with other charities. You shouldn't be in competition. And it's where the money is. The biggest one, and I always say this, and it's not even a thing anymore, the Stroke Association. When I was running marathons for the Stroke Association, like, we're doing a trip to Hawaii, you got to raise this amount of money, and we'll run a marathon in Hawaii. And I'm like, fantastic. I'm like, that seems expensive, especially when you saw where they put us up. Seems expensive. And then at the end of it, there's like 36 cities in this gigantic deal. I didn't know that. I thought it was just our group. But Phoenix was by far the most represented. We had a ton, and it was all KUPD people because they leaned on us. We get there, and they're like, well, you host the event. And I'm like, well, I suppose. There's like 3,000 people at this thing. All of them raised a certain amount of money to go to Hawaii. And I'm like, there. And all I'm thinking is I'm standing on this stage, trying to collect myself. I had the twisties, by the way, that night, Brad. I don't know if you knew that. I didn't know I was going to do this event. And they tell me, like, last second, and I'm like, I have a mental disorder called the twisties. And I powered through. I made it through, Brad. You did, too. Remember, you had the twisties. We put you in a coconut
I had to
bra.
twist a lot.
Yeah, and we made Brady dance in a
He
coconut
twisted
bra.
a lot to the breakfast buffet that morning as soon as the starter's gun went off.
The plumbers twisted.
I
a
knew
lot
the
of
show
twisting.
that I had ahead of
That's
me
right.
later that night.
Well, it was actually a night. You're all right.
Okay, yeah.
You just knew that you had to
Either
eat.
way, I'm
At a
prepping.
certain point, you were going to eat. That's what you knew. You had the twisties when you weren't eating.
Starter's gun, bang.
I got the twisties, too. Those are churros.
Oh, I thought these were called twisties.
Best kind.
So I'm standing on stage. Ends up being a great night. Crowd's all into it. Do the whole thing. Run the marathon. Host the after party. I'm on cloud nine. I'm like, this must be the greatest event of all time. Everybody is happy. We all did the marathon. The weather was fun. We're in Hawaii. How bad can this be? You guys have to be thrilled because I just announced on stage that this whole group raised $7.2 million. That's a pretty nice chunk, right? Walk off stage and a lady looks upset and I'm like, did I do something wrong? And she goes, no. It was just a complete failure. And I'm like, what? And she goes, the whole event. We can't do this. And I'm like, why? And she goes, we didn't raise enough. And I'm like, $7 million isn't enough from one event? Like, you guys have more during the year, right? This isn't the crown jewel.
And this
they
is what-
spent $10 million.
Oh.
Or had budgeted in. I don't know if they spent it. That without a $10 million.
They hit their budget.
And they're like, we can never do this again. So
Party suites for the people in the administration.
Yeah. I mean, first class tickets to the. I'm like, well, maybe you guys should have scaled back on the grand.
Well, this
we
is-
could have jogged in San Diego, I think, right?
And the ex-wife did that one too. She
Yeah.
raised $6,000 just on her own
Right.
so that she could go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to hit a limit before
5K.
you can go.
Yeah. Yep. And that it was crazy.
And so everybody there at that dinner had done the same thing.
And there I was talking to people who had strokes, thinking that this was for them. Oh, I walked away from that one, eyes wide open. That was 2005, and my eyes were wide open to the idea, like, keep your heart out of this charity thing, and only find people who know what they're doing. Because you can get bamboozled by the size of something thinking, this is massive, and it's going to help a lot of people. And then you start realizing it pays for billboards, it pays for trips, it pays for parties, it pays for all sorts of stuff. And there's still some that do parties that are great. But, man, oh, man, you get a few of them that they're all about the show and the picture, and they're not really helping anything.
We've created awareness, though.
Everybody there knew about it. I did that one guy that was up there that relearned how to walk.
Yeah.
And he was going to run the marathon the next day. It's hard to bring me to almost tears, being a sociopath and all that, with the twisties. But there I was standing there like, this is amazing, and this is why we're here. This is the stroke thing is no joke. People have strokes like crazy, and they just fed on it, and they ruined it. So I've had my eyes open, but it was nice yesterday to see this thing, and that's why we like the hand-to-hand charity thing. I don't like we'll give it to you, you give it to this group, they'll give it to some billboard company.
Middleman.
I like the one that says, here's your money, and then they spend it right in front of you on the thing you're supposed to do, and that's kind of where we're at with that. Oh, no, this guy said, I got the twisties right now, John, before heading to work. I twisted one up and smoked it right. Oh, you made a terrible mistake. You got them twisties.
That's a good twisty.
No.
Wheaties got totally different definitions of words.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
She got high. That's what it was.
Moonbile's got twisties, bro.
I like her.
I think she's my favorite athlete ever. Got them twisties. It's mental health disorder. It's right under there next to bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. The twisties. Oh, it's crazy. So anyway, I wanted to thank the drinking team because that was massive. And they showed up, tons of them. I won't name off names because I'll forget half of you, and I already have forgotten half of you, which is why I won't name off names.
Karate
But
Bob.
I remember Karate Bob.
Scotty.
Karate Billy.
Karate Jim.
And they're also a karate team, evidently. They would be competing, but we all know why.
I know Jimmy Espinosa is kind of like the leader
Jimmy's
of it
the guy.
all. Yeah.
Jimmy was awesome.
He started it all.
Yeah, Jimmy's cool. He was there yesterday. Yeah, they were all great. Everybody was so nice and just fun. Just you could tell this is a fun group of people want to hang. Have you been out with them yet?
I have
One of their
not.
things?
Jimmy was messaging me last night, asking me where the hell I was, and I'm like, I don't know. They left without me and Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were sitting here and saw you and Brandel just flying out
I
of the
didn't know what it
parking lot.
was.
I heard two different stories.
Right.
Like
I thought,
I
they were
down to the
coming in, I
mission.
thought they were coming here.
And
So did I.
Yeah.
I thought it was here.
That's what I thought.
I thought we were just going to, and I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, Randall's like, no, we're going to go. You coming with me? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. Where are we going? I didn't know what it was, so then we just went down there. I had no idea it was this big. I had no
Randall
idea.
didn't want two other guys that wouldn't listen to him going there.
That's true.
That's
You did-
probably-
well,
Because he
especially-
walks right by.
Right.
Where's John?
Well, no. The agreement was that I would meet with him. And I'm like, sure, I'll pop into that. I didn't know how big this thing was. I don't think any of us did.
I just didn't know. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. No, you
And
guys
I know
didn't.
Brett's been in contact with the guy.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's why I figured I was going to go.
You should have. I didn't know either.
I wasn't invited.
I didn't know where to go. I didn't know that I was invited. I was just told, do you want to meet him? I'm like, sure. I even went down like last second yesterday. I'm like, hey, Randall, what time are they getting here? He goes, no, we're going to them. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was in the conference room. We're just having a chat about what. No, going over. I'm like, okay, cool.
Because me and Brady were
in
leaving
the car.
yesterday, and I'm like, I thought, where are they going? He goes, I think it's just a photo op with Phoenix Rescue
That's
Missions.
what I thought.
and he
like,
comes
okay.
by the office, and I'm like, you looking for John? Yeah. Where are you going? We're going nowhere. We're not going anywhere.
He didn't want you there.
Don't worry
Never
about
mind.
it.
Don't worry about it.
You'll just make a mess of
None
things.
your
You'll just make
business.
a mess of things. Well, it wasn't about omitting you guys because I was sitting there going, do I really? Should I? Is it that big a deal? It was.
That's a huge deal.
I had no
Yeah.
idea. Well, none of us knew. I don't think anybody knew when that truck pulled up.
Well, we left with it saying, oh, no, that's
they're fine.
another day.
Right, yeah.
There's-
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought this was a meeting about how to get this stuff to somewhere. It was the day.
I'm going to go out with the drinking team one
Go
of
out
these days.
and
soon.
give them a clink those
Absolutely.
glasses and say thank you because that was huge. And not to negate what everybody else has done for the Operation Hydration, but man, you guys, you haven't done anything compared to them. I mean, the comparison isn't even close.
Thanks for your case.
I mean, thanks for your case of water, but semi truck. Helping, I guess, but oh my God. I can say that now because we're swimming in the top of the pile there. Yeah, we can stop. I'm almost convinced that we don't have to do anymore. It was just so much. And, you know.
They can always use it, though. That's the bottom
I'm not so
line.
sure
They'll
anymore, Brady.
They'll go
Yesterday,
through it.
After seeing that, I'm not sure they will. I think this is a 2-year run. I think we can take a break.
I was going to say, so we
That's
get next year
awesome.
off? Or
I'm looking at it thinking maybe. And I've been down to the rescue mission before and seen that thing full and been like, you guys never
with
need
the
water again.
firefighters, yeah.
This one, when the firefighters dropped all that stuff off, that was like a massive. This was unbelievable. This was deluxe. So thank you to those guys and everybody who has donated. I'm just playing around. Awesome stuff. And to all the charities we deal with that take a look at Scotty Karate in his thong, dressed up as a mermaid, running around in your parking lot. You know what? It doesn't matter what the person donating looks like or acts like. When they dump that much off, it could all be kind of terrible. You don't know who's dropping what off. If you had some sort of personality quiz for everybody who dropped off a donation, you'd never get a donation. So it was
The Hitler
brutal.
family, thank you for the case
Yeah,
of
look,
water.
if the Hitler family pulled up with a donation that big, I mean, they're like, could you just give us a mention and be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just knock it off. Do you mind knocking it off a little bit and just tone her back a little? Well, we've got plans, but we really want to help. I'm like, well, I guess maybe I can be the guy that turns your next page over and says, I ran into Holmberg and it was nice. And, maybe I don't want to hate so much. I'm going to give more
Turning
water.
over the new
Maybe
leaf.
I can help him. I can be a catalyst to him going down a new road. So in the meantime, I would say Hitler dropped off a big old thing. And I don't think we should take Hitler's water. I'm like, look, that's what you asked for. You can't judge who brings it in. If you say bring me donations, you can't start looking at the people who do it and say like, well, I'm not taking his donation. That's terrible. They can be buttholes.
see, Brady's right. Maybe so bad of a guy.
Brady?
He won't hate Hitler.
Oh, Hitler?
Yeah.
Well, Hitler didn't drop the semi off. That was all hypothetical, Brady.
He wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, we used to say that in radio all the time. If Hitler came in and said, I have $150,000 to buy some ad time, we'd be like, ooh, okay. Like it would be like a half a second for our sales department to go, he's got $150,000 he wants to spend for the month. Yeesh.
Oh, there's a few of them that would jump all over that.
Oh, yeah. I'm starting a flooring company. 1-800-HITLER Floors, HITLER.
Have you had the Hitler
Oh my
flooring?
God, Hitler Flooring is a really good product. I'm not sure I like how it's getting presented, but dude's got a lot of dough. Yeah, it's called selling out. And
Throw in a few van stops and we have a deal.
I was shocked. KUPD, well, we've had moments, obviously, as a sales-based organization where you take a few things, you're like, we probably shouldn't do that. But when we worked at the Zone, you were in the sales department. You whores took things. That was a sales staff that Hitler could have
The
run.
Pol Pot furniture sale I had.
Pol Pot and Hitler were like 1 and 2 in billing. Like it was amazing. That place would take money. I came here, and they wouldn't take alcohol, and they wouldn't take money for a lot of stuff. And I was like, wow, like not the beer, but like strong.
You can
alcohol.
understand a couple of our properties, where
Yeah.
we came from, wouldn't do that. They would say you could do beer, but not the
Right.
hard
You can't do the
spirits.
hard stuff.
Here, At first, it was beer only, and
they didn't do anything, and I
Yeah.
was blown away because they had all these standards of certain things they wouldn't take. The place we came from, it was Hitler's house. If Hitler wanted to knock the door down and just, I want to paint my name on your building, we'd have done it. I was reading commercials in there. I'm like, you've got to be kidding, because I worked in the production back in the day in the zone. Like, we are doing what now with this? Just read it. It's a job fair for Nazis. Okay. I'll do it.
They need jobs too.
Yeah. You guys, Aryan, you like jobs? Come on down to the zone job fair for Nazis. That's right. It's ours.
Plus, they paid bump rates.
Oh, yeah, they paid us extra. We're putting them on.
Hello, blonde hair, blue eyed people.
Are you part of the master race? Tired of not having a solution on payday? We've got your final solution here. It's the KZON Super Job Fair for Nazis.
we're here for peace.
And the worst part is you would read this, like I would read the commercials, and I was just a part-timer, but I would literally read those commercials, and sometimes it was just a straight read. I wouldn't even pre-read it. I'd just turn the mic on and read it. Join KZON's own John Holmberg from 4 to 6 at the Nazi rally. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm finding out I got an event here? You would do it. It's $100. I'm like, well, you're right, I'm going to do it, but good God, at least ask.
Give me that goddamn talent fee.
I would find there were many times I was driving to work and I would find out where I'm going to through a commercial. Join KZON's John Holmberg over at blah, blah. I'm like, I guess I got a thing to do today at 3 at the Nazi rally.
It's good to know.
Oh, the sales department ran roughshod over us.
Nothing changes too often. I mean, maybe you get a day sometimes. I'm certain.
Well,
that's a radio thing.
It's different here. I'll tell you, as a person on the air there and on the air here, it's different here. I mean, for the most part, radio's the same everywhere, but it's different here. We're KRP in our own way. That place was a catastrophe to work in the production room. It was just promotions, production, and on air. You didn't know because you were in that sales department that was running the show, and it was
you felt
terrible.
it because you went through 5 regimes.
Right.
So each one is...
Right. But you guys were Lord of the Flies over there. Nobody asked permission to do a thing. And all of a sudden, we're just on the other end. And we had program directors that didn't fight back, and we couldn't say anything. It was brutal. Imagine that.
The baby drop-off promotion I had.
That was pretty good.
Kids. Stem cell research.
We went
off.
We had loads of those. But, again, to charities that actually are top-notch and join up with us. It's good to find good ones, and this was pretty cool. And that drinking team, I can't tip my cap fast and hard enough. I don't even know if that's how you do it, but they were awesome, and that was monumental. That's like getting $1 million check when you're doing a water drive. I don't know how much money was in there. If you go a bottle, what are they? It's $1 a bottle out of our vending machine.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money.
Even at $5 a case, I mean, I don't know how much. 25 pallets.
I don't know. It's astronomical what they dumped off.
Under 30 cases in a pallet or something like
insane.
that.
It's insane. So I can't say thank you to them enough. That was outstanding. So, again, I was blown away because I had no idea. I honestly thought it was just to meet the guy and talk about something. And I thought it was happening here in a car, standing at the back of a semi going, this is much bigger than I realized today.
Well, when Jimmy hit me up originally, he says, we're going to drive. We're going to bring you guys some water. I'm like, all right, cool. A couple cases, maybe a pallet.
Yeah.
Not like that,
No.
though.
And what is it, the AZ drinking team on Instagram?
Facebook. Arizona Drinking Team.
Get on there. Have some fun. If you're a person that likes to have fun, be responsible and hang out with fun people. I guess they just fire off things going, hey, some members of the drinking team are going to be at State 48 or some place that they point out. Like, come join us. Hop on there. You get all sorts of shirts and stuff. All of them have tattoos on their necks about their, like the admin people. It's great.
Chocolate parties.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. That's $43,000.
Bottles of water.
43 bottles of water.
43,000 bottles of water.
At 25 pallets.
72 cases a pallet. 25 pallets. 24 bottles to a case.
I don't even know if that math's right, but that's a lot. That's a lot.
2 billion.
Yeah, I'm going in on that. I just think that's amazing. So I was knocked out. So thank you to them. And then switching gears, Brady and I were talking before a little bit about this strange story. That is the Black Mountain situation that happened over, was it Friday?
Echo Canyon.
Echo Canyon.
That lady?
Yeah, it was a first date. First of all, the Phoenix police officer that's involved in this, he took a girl from Minnesota or something. Is that where it was? Something
Or
like that.
Boston.
Oh, maybe it was Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
You might be right.
Yep.
So she pops out here. They met online. She comes out to see him. And then on a hot day for a first date, you take some girl from Boston. to Camelback Mountain and have a hike. And so they get about neither of them had water, which is confusing. That was the story I read this morning.
Oh, okay.
And I said they didn't bring water.
Yesterday said there was.
They're hiking. They go up halfway or so, and then she's like, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to go. And he's like, okay, go back to the car. I'll go to the top and take some pictures so you can have pictures of the top to at least send back or put on your feed or whatever. He goes back to the car. She's not there. Stuff's there and all that. So then they're looking. She drifted off the trail a little bit and died.
Yeah.
Like she's beautiful. I don't know if you saw the picture.
Oh, yeah, I saw the pictures.
Beautiful.
And the one that look, there's two ways. I know we're going to talk about it. This is a guy that probably wants to get his workout in. It sounded like that in the first article that okay, you will just go down. But
I feel bad
early on. Yeah, but you don't. If you're going up there, how many times have you ever taken someone that has visited?
Yeah, Josh Blue and I went up in June. He's crippled. I made him climb that thing.
Right. I took someone else years ago the first time, and they were a trainer. Right. But they're from Milwaukee. They're yakking halfway up the hill. Right. And it wasn't in the summer. You just know that first timers, it's a buddy system.
I agree.
Especially in the heat. But that was just the bad call is I'm going to continue up. You head down. But in fairness, he wouldn't know.
But again,
he's going through that.
She
but they say that's
fine.
how fast.
I don't know.
The
If it's
heat.
a date, you gotta. I don't know.
You don't leave your date if it is a date.
You leave your date if she's a pain in the ass.
Right, and then that's the other thing.
She might have been a pain
maybe
in
they
the
could
ass.
have,
But-
like this isn't going anywhere.
And that's where I feel bad for this cop because
it looks so
I've
bad.
also done the thing where I've been with somebody in my summer hikes. And I love the summer stuff.
Yeah.
Where they say, I'm going to wait here. You go ahead. And I've gone ahead. I've left people who have said, I can do this hike. And saying, you keep your cool here. I'll be right back. I'm going to finish up. I'm just going to get to the end and come back. I've done that. I did it with a friend of mine once who rolled her ankle. And she's like, I'll sit here and we'll wait and you can help me back down. I'm like, 2 minutes. I got to get to the top. She wanted a picture too, ironically. Same thing.
But was it 105 at the time?
Yeah. This was
summer?
back in like 1994. She brought her own, one of those weird disposable cameras. And she gave me the camera. She rolled her ankle. She's in great shape. And we went up. And she got about 3/4 of the way up and said, let me just rest this. Go get pictures for me. I've never been to the top. I'm like, okay. Right, she was leaving. She was going back to Buffalo.
And usually, the downside of hiking Echo Canyon this time, or any of them, is the traffic is there's
nobody there.
No one on there.
I mean,
and
it's
most
still
of the time
dumb.
it's high traffic and the cooler weather.
Sure.
So that would be a little bit easier. Someone would be there.
But I feel bad because they're starting in with the foul play thing for the cop.
Yeah,
and now it's all of a sudden a
Right.
cop bashing situation. Well, this cop should – and he probably should have known better than to take some Easterner up the hill. But if you look at this girl, as pretty as she is, she looks super fit. And not to say that means anything, but she looks –
it's a different climb,
it's
man.
totally
when you come
different.
out here.
But if I'm with somebody who's that fit and they're like, I've got this, I can handle it. The one thing I don't understand is the no water situation. You got to load up. You got to always do that.
The one that I read,
he's got to know better than that. But
Yeah,
I mean, this
but
story's getting weird because
and who knows what that is? Because yesterday said she had raw water, but the hypothermia could have kicked in so quick that you just get disoriented. And
I don't know what it is, but they're starting, and I feel terrible for the guy because if he didn't do anything wrong other than just a couple of missteps on a date,
Right.
I mean, there's no reason to lambaste this dude all day long and have on the news. I mean, this girl is stunning, and it's a terrible tragedy that this happened. But again, I mean, you have to be aware of that. That's why this, miserable heat hiker rule's in place now. It's like 105, we're not coming to get you, but it doesn't stop people from doing it. People are still going to walk up there. Just
that's
not
why
gonna
they were talking about shutting down.
Well, they are
taking
shutting
up.
it down. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's what I did.
After 105, it's shut down.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if it's shut down. You can walk around.
So they went around
It's well, I don't even know if it was 105 that day.
Right. Was that in the I didn't see the
Don't
time
even
that they
know.
went on.
But it can happen at a temperature that's not that. Somebody just has a bad. They're from Boston. But
Even on the hot days, I mean, you've done it before. The rocks.
Oh, you don't want to be
Cooking all
around
day
that.
in the afternoon. That just
Especially-
carries. It's like the coals on your fire that have been just sitting there the whole time.
Hoof and Camelback's not easy, and people think it's just to climb up a hill. It's not an easy. That's a fairly
Even if you do it regularly,
right. It's a fairly difficult climb, and I see people do that one sometimes in flip flops and jeans and whatever. I'm like, you got to be careful.
almost should be rules on that.
Sure, because it's no joke, especially for a beginner. Like if you've never done it before, it'll kick your ass. You don't even realize you're getting whomped. But I heard on the news last night, they're like looking into the investigation, like he killed her. Maybe, but I don't think. It just sounds like he just kind of was negligent on a date, really. And I think he was like, I want to get you pictures of the top because it's beautiful. I'll be right. And he probably hauled ass up there and then left her. I can't say I wouldn't have done that.
There's so many scenarios I could see how he's like, all right, you know what? I'll just do another thing. I'll meet you back at the hotel or whatever.
That's if they're not getting along. But I mean,
right.
if you're on a date and the girl's like, oh, I really want to get to the top and take pictures and send them back, you're going to be that guy who goes, I can do it.
Would you go up there for me?
I'll
go down.
Do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I would just. Everybody's got the hindsight. Well, you never leave her and she's this and that, blah, blah. Maybe true, but the dude made it.
Which it had to have been hot. But, the other thing I can tell you at times that the first summer round of golf, there's been guys that drop the next day. That you get that dehydration a little bit kicking in.
Well, you should really kind of check yourself if golf kicked your ass. If you fall out from golf.
It happens all the time.
I know, but it's too much.
You don't realize it.
You're in shade a lot in golf. You should probably pull that off. I don't want you dropping from golf. I won't say, it's got to be a little bit of a strenuous situation, but I've seen it. And if you just stand in the sun too long,
absolutely,
you can get hit,
that's what I'm saying. That's all it takes.
But you got to be smart in this. This situation is weird, but they're starting to talk like in the news, like they're going to take a look at this cop and all this thing. It's not. If he was a plumber, would we be doing this? If the guy was just a regular Joe, if it was Brett Vesley, he's like, I had this date.
If he was a plumber, he'd be arrested by now.
No, I'm serious. Like if Brett Vesley did it, they would go, oh, this cop had bad intention. They're like, come on. This anti-cop sentiment that goes out. The guy might have made a mistake. Maybe he did something. You got to look into it for sure, but you're certainly not going to do this if he's not. It's not.
We would have heard from Brett. That's the only thing that's kind of weird. I know they're just we're going to investigate, so that's why they're probably.
Oh, you've heard from him. He told.
I'm not saying
he had stories right away. He called another person, but it was
right now the only knock on him is he went up hiking without water.
Right,
being
that's
from
ridiculous.
Phoenix,
Yeah.
which is a moron move.
Yeah,
but
I don't get that at all.
I guess we'll just see how it unfolds. I don't know, but as of right now,
because for him it's 35 minutes without going with water. Probably,
but he
probably
gets
up that hill pretty quick.
Right, he might be a bouncer. Just
it's
go
like I
flying
can go
up
an
and down.
hour without water,
and he's trying to show off.
Yeah,
like watch how fast I can get to the top, get your pictures, and get back down here. And it's tragic. But before we start calling it murder and everything, just in case the guy didn't do it, let's not go nuts.
Yeah, horrible.
It's right now it stands as a complete accident.
Yeah.
Now, if he did something terrible, he didn't cover his tracks very well. But listening and watching the news last night, they were basically cockeyed towards him, like, looks like you might have done something awful.
She ended up at somebody's house, John. She definitely got the twisties.
She got the twisties. I don't want
That's
the
where
twisties
they
on the
found her.
mountain.
No.
You get the mountain twisties. Oh, it's a terrible story. And you see the pictures, and the other thing that drives you nuts is that beautiful people always end up on the news, and they want them to be Dateline special. So they try to dramatize.
That's all they were is her pictures straight to her Facebook page.
I know, and it's a shame because they try to make it more dramatic than it is because it's good for visuals. But they make a Dateline special out of it before there's anything to it. But who knows? I mean, we don't know this one at all, and it's kind of like
I'd always say if if you're doing something like in this kind of heat, buddy system is always good.
oh, always,
Yeah.
always. Yeah, you have to always have a friend, and there is something to the idea of I'm not going to go ahead of you. You're struggling.
Yeah.
So and there is that chivalrous kind of thing of like I'm going to take you back down, make sure you're all right. I don't know why they don't have water. I think Brett's right. I mean, the biggest mistake here was why don't you guys have tons of water for the Bostonian? But again, I took Wheeler Morris, the queen of Hubbard Radio. She like her son came out here and likes to mountain bike, and it was August. And he's like, I'll go with you. And I'm like, all right, Wheeler, we're going to get you a backpack full of water, and I'm going to load you up, and we'll do this and that. It was like 106, and we went out on the trails, and I just took him on an easy one, a little climbing, nothing special. And we're cruising around. Wheeler's kicking my ass. I'm sucking water like there's no tomorrow. I'm like, what's going on with this guy? He's from Minnesota, for Christ's sake. He's never even been in temperatures like this. Well, you got any hills? I'm like, who are you, robot? And so at the end, I'm beat. Wheeler's hardly sweating. I don't think he took any of the water in. And I'm like, all right. I tried to protect him. Wheeler was gassing me. This guy could ride. I'm like, this is amazing. He's like, yeah, I do pretty well in all climates. I'm like, I guess so.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I think you're doing all right there, kid. And so we sat and chatted. So I looking at him, I tried to protect him. And at a certain point, it was almost embarrassing. So he kept up, more than kept up riding in that weather. So you just never know. But had he started to fade, I mean, I've been with you. Yeah. And I've also been with a friend of mine, Fred, who decided to ride with us once in the summertime. And he got about halfway up a hill, and I looked at him, I'm like, you do not look good. And he goes, I'm not good. I'm like, this is no joke. Like,
no way.
And
can creep up.
And we sent him home on his own.
Yeah.
Nobody buddy systemed him back.
Same thing, basically.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that was Katero was another one. He tried to go and I'm like, bro, I think there's a crew concert I'm missing. I'm like, so then we sent him home. He started rattling off 80s bass players. I'm like, all right, Chris, you
should have brought my sleeves, man. I'm sorry.
You're hallucinating. Yeah, the tank tops and the 80s bass player hallucinations. It's time to go home. Oh, Red Beach. He's having another thing. So anyway, that story is getting some legs on it, but I'm going to hold off on judging the guy right off. He may have made a few mistakes, but I don't think it's murder to leave somebody behind on that deal. It's terrible. But nobody's forcing people to do it. And who takes somebody on Camelback Mountain in summer for a first date? Unless she's just begging to get to the top of that bump.
You do it early in the morning, if anything.
Or apparently, Texas was saying it was 10 a.m. So I don't know if
that's a little late.
News
still getting hot about that time.
Yeah, it's hot. But
the high that day was supposed to be 102.
But yeah, and it wasn't that hot a day. I agree with the idea that you don't ditch the newbie.
Yeah.
Even though I've done it. You mountain bike with us, and like it was a group of us, and couldn't make it up the hill, and like go home.
Drinking the night before, who knows?
Exactly.
Could have been,
a little dehydrated the night before. There's Brady's bash and beer.
Drinking and whoring the night
being
before.
Being a drunk whore, that's what you everybody's going to dehydrate eventually. Not me. I'm hydrated. Salt.
Anyway, just be careful when you start watching those news stories. I don't want to vilify the guy. If he didn't do anything wrong, he's in hell right now. If he did, it'll come out in the law.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The guy's in it now. If he didn't do anything wrong, and now they're like, we're going to look into what you did, like foul play. I'm like, oh, man.
Innocent until proven guilty at this point.
You got it.
From the Italian.
We'll find out eventually.
You know those statutes back and forth.
That's
You're damn
true.
right I do.
He's read that. It's 7:18. What do you got on the big board of musical treats there?
All right. Wake brought to you guys by our buddies over there at Action Ride Shop. We're always talking about, the big brands, the Pivots and the Konas and, Rocky Mountains and stuff like that. But if you're just an average rider, you want to ride on the streets and stuff, they got bikes, all prices, size, and shape. Toledo bought one for Lisa a couple weeks ago there.
She used it?
Just to cruise around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Just cruising around in that thing?
Cruising around the neighborhood.
That's nice.
Yeah, she's not ready to climb a mountain yet, but it's great.
So whatever your needs are, they got you covered over there. Action Ride Shop on Facebook as well as on Instagram over there on Gilbert Road and Southern. And lots of different ones today. Lots of 80s stuff up there. Overkill, Testament, Accept.
Yikes.
Quiet Riot.
Why?
I don't know. I think Katero was up early. Apparently, it's James Hetfield's birthday today.
Oh.
So, got Metallica on there. Absolute Zero for the women's soccer team. Someone suggested that. And then Johnny Cash Hurt for the commie broads playing soccer. And that's not from me. I didn't post that. Sounds like me, but I didn't do that.
It sounds like something you would say.
Yeah.
I'm quoting.
Well, I don't want to pile on the ladies' soccer team at all.
Hetfield's 58.
He's 58 today. We could do a little Hetfield. I think that's it. Let's do some Hardwired. And get a little of that. James Hetfield's 58 years old. Wow. How about that? He actually looks pretty good.
For 58?
For 58.
And partying and
hard
drinking
living.
as much as they did? Oh, yeah.
That's pretty healthy looking 58, considering I don't think anybody had them going much past 50.
He's 8 years older than Spinderella.
Spinderella's birthday is what would you like to hear a little double shot there, Brady?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
The Spinderella and Hetfield combo. Yeah! What a man. Are they the What a Man people?
Yeah.
Salt and Pepper and, yeah. What a mighty good man. Yeah, he is.
Push it.
Yeah. Push it real good. I still prefer our, what was it, James Brown Hetfield that we had for a while.
yeah.
It was pretty solid. And Rick James Hetfield. I think those combinate pretty sweet. She's a very kinky girl, yeah.
Whoa. What the hell?
98.
I'm not cool with this at all.
KUPD.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet mesquite, repeat. EricsFamilyBBQ.com.